All set? Okay, thank you. Hi everyone, good afternoon and welcome for today's session. Thank you for being there and thank you for being patient because I could see Rajat and there was Sarvagya waiting for me and writing that, oh, ma'am is generally on time. How come it's late? So we were just like working on little knickknacks henceforth. So as we are going to start our journey with sociology, first and foremost, Karan, it started. Tejas, I hope you can hear me and I hope everything is good and everyone is connected. All good? All good? You can just text so that I can just see that everyone can hear me, everyone can see me. Good afternoon Lakshmi and Sarvagya and all of you. So today as we are going to start with our journey related to sociology optional, giving you a basic overview about its relevance and a basic orientation session, like basically I would like to create a very cool, a very chill kind of session whereby you feel comfortable to interact and raise your concerns. Anything which is bothering you so far, even the most trivial query shall be asked and I would be entertaining that. Okay, so I'll be giving you an overview. The present dimension which I like aspire to elaborate for all of you is today I would be first and foremost talking about the relevance of sociology, how it is going to help you in your journey, why it is like optional in which you can trust. It is not the one which can backstab because of its consistency in delivery. Along with that, I would be discussing about why the optional is interesting. It is, I won't say better than others because that is a subjective dimension and it's not a fair play. Like to each his own, and every optional is good. With every optional, students can get selected. But the prime purpose is that it is a discipline which can help you in multi-pronged ways in your selection. So how you should prepare, how you should go ahead with this journey, what all to study, what are the reference material, what would be the pedagogy, how I would be consolidating the energy and bringing all of you together, and what are the other support systems that are created, how it is not a mere, I would say, 3 days in a week or 5 days in a week session. It is a 24/7 interaction that takes place, though with like certain breaks because I'll have my GS sessions also, so in between. So at that time instant reply won't be coming, but still it is a hand holding, I would say, till the time your preparation is going on. It starts with the batch, and even when the batch is over, any kind of query, any kind of doubt, any kind of, I would say, like challenge that you experience in the journey, the batch remains. Okay, so this is what is like to be shared to begin with. So as we are starting with it, so glad to know that Rohit, you can hear me, Misbah, Fatima and Mrinalini, Mohammed, Saqib and Tejas, all of you. I hope you can just be connected. Over here also I can see there is Shreyasi and Sunil and Sarvagya, all of you. All right, fine. So as we are substantiating our journey further ahead, we all can see the various segments pertaining to our preparation. So first and foremost, this is something which was shared by Department of Personnel and Training, the DOPT, and the success rate of the optional subjects as per the 2019 UPSC exam. So this is a basic list of various optional students appearing in it and the percentage of success. So 2019 as it was declared. So thank you Lakshmi for supporting that. Sunil, it is audible, majority of the students can hear. It is something associated with your network beta. Please refresh. I hope you will be able to connect from our end. Everything is seamless. All right. Now, so as we are moving ahead, you can see on the screen itself as I'm sharing it with all of you that there is this geography optional which all of you can see. Like students who appeared in the mains exam was 1916. Students who were recommended for the interview was 105. So with 5.5% selection. Sociology, you can see 1263 students wrote the mains with 126 students like getting referred finally. So here you can see 10.6 10% students getting selected. Again, commerce, accountancy, economics, agriculture, every optional, what is the viability of it in 2019? This is what was given. Now, you can pay attention, a huge number of students are appearing, and in the final list of recommendation, when it comes to students getting selected, this is the percentage of performance, which all of you can see. Further ahead, when we are talking about it, we can also see, like I have not only connected with 2019 UPSC result, what you can see that has been given by Department of Personnel and Training, but also the previous years like 2017, 16, 15, 14, all of it. You can see this. So there is a consistency in delivery. Like you can see that, except 2016, which went little low, 8%, but other than that, on an average, it's 10%, sometimes going to 11.7 also. But on an average, 10% of the students are getting selected. If you are really good, if you can really justify the journey, the problem associated with, like, the selection is something which all of you can connect with, that it is seamless, it is something which is facilitating in your journey. So going from 2014 till 2019, even recently if I speak of it, the highest that this year the student got, she had 229 the rank, and she had, when we are talking about the marks, this girl, she had 295. On an average, sociology provides about 300 to 330. Highest so far was of Gaurav Shah. He had got 329 marks. But on an average, getting 280 and above in sociology is possible. Okay, it is possible, it is achievable. This is something which all of you need to understand. Further ahead, when we are substantiating this very journey related to it, so Ashwini Ji, this year she was the topper with 295 marks. So if we are talking about the journey, we can just first and foremost note how sociology facilitates your selection. So here, how sociology optional helps in GS or essay. We will be discussing that, Rohit, soon enough. Your query will be incorporated in the discussion. So here, as all of you can see, probably I should take a different color to highlight. So this is the mark sheet of Anu Kumari, and you can see what is actual facilitator in the journey. Essay, 153. You can see optional 163 and 155, right? So you can see this is amazing marks if we actually take a note of it, right? And again, after this, the third thing is interview. The three game changers. She actually got very brilliant marks in GS paper 2 and paper 3 as well. But on an average, getting something around 102, 105, 110 in GS is the normal game player. I mean, the 4 GS papers, even if a student is performing very well, 400 to 420 is what you can see. On an average, students get it. Getting 440 or something closer to that is brilliant. So the actual difference is caused by the essay paper, which can give you 60% plus marks, the optional paper, which can give you 60% plus marks, and the interview, because these three areas are highly subjective. Further ahead, when we are talking about it, I have also given this example of Pradeep Singh. First attempt, 22 years old, and this child getting selected with sociology optional once again. Again, this person also, you can see he is having 307 marks, 307 if you actually take note of it. Essay, not so good, 121, which is like pretty average. Similarly, you can see interview when we are talking about it. So the interview marks were also very average. You can see this. It's like when we are talking about it, just a second, he had something around, I remember his interview marks were something around 170, not much. It was not something like 180s or 190s. But still, this boy, he had 93 rank. All India 93. So he was quite young and he made it with sociology. And sociology contributed 300 plus marks. Again, when we are talking about its relevance with respect to the wholesome journey, we all can further work out with respect to all the students, last year the highest marks went 304. Prior to that also the marks went 318. So sociology would be giving anything like around 300. It can be like 295 as it happened this year. It can shoot up to we can say 310 or 320. 329 has been highest so far, I repeat myself, in past 10 years. All right. Again, the sociology course which we are going to run, you can see that there is a tentative breakup of the schedule. So we all can see that over here we are like proposing 85 sessions. It depends on your acumen. Suppose students need some extra session for maybe a topic like rural agrarian social structure or introducing Indian society, Indian thinkers, or suppose students have some kind of struggle related to sociological thinkers, sociology paper 1, like maybe someone is struggling with Max Weber or Karl Marx. In that situation, some extra support needs to be provided. And when I would be realizing that, I'll increase the session by 1 or 2. So though I'm proposing 85, but it can swell up to 90 or 92 also. So, I mean, I won't be rushing up that just because I'm saying 85, it should be 85. Nothing like that. It is completely up to your comfort. If needed, we can increase the sessions even by 10. Up to 95 also. It's all about the batch. It's all about your comfort, the pace with which you learn. All right. So this is a tentative breakup which I have created for each and every topic, which you can go through little later. Now, Rohit, as you asked that, ma'am, what is the relevance of sociology for GS paper and essay? So I'll be substantiating that bit now. All good, everyone? Everyone can connect with what has been discussed so far. And if there are any doubts, you can just register that doubt. I will be taking it up soon. All right. So when we are like taking it up with respect to GS, in GS, if I speak of it, I can connect the component associated with GS paper 1. In GS paper 1, you have Indian society, the entire portion, that is the 70 marks, about 70 marks is what has been asked so far in past few years. Again, not just Indian society, a brief introduction to European history, which is a part of like history. So European history, because emergence of sociology, chapter 1, emergence of sociology actually discusses about the European history and a brief background of European history, like French Revolution, Industrial Revolution. We'll be talking about it. Even before the French Revolution, we'll be talking about the American War of Independence, the Boston Tea Party, a brief overview. So you get connected to those topics and you start getting a logical corollary that how all these incidents in the history were shaping the possibility of modernity. And so you are not like getting introduced only to the social issues topics, but also a brief insight about history. And chapter after chapter, especially in sociology paper 2, suppose I'm discussing caste system, suppose I'm discussing tribals. So I will be giving you references from ancient or medieval as well. So topics associated with vulnerable sections, topics associated with the deprived sections, you all would be witnessing that a brief background of it, which is generally not taken up in the history, we can say lectures, because of the dearth of time, the paucity of time, those dimensions also would be substantiated here in sociology. So the basic quality which every bureaucrat needs to have, and that is associated with what? Compassion, sense of connectivity with the larger demos. So that kind of insight shall be developed in you the moment you start understanding which community is experiencing what, why and how. For example, a regular commoner or even a regular GS student may not have an understanding about, like, let's say, why different minority sections in India have different kind of challenges. Means why the Jains are commercially quite affluent, they are trading community, they are making good money, whereas we can see the Sikh community can be found in all classes. And how come the Muslim community, the bulk of the population, is still impoverished? The historical background of it to be traced from the British time period, from the Mughal time period, the conversion, the possibility associated with, we can say, the devastation of cottage industry, the de-skilling, the impact of the new education policy at all. Means no gas, no, we can say, political statements, hardcore research-based apolitical understanding, which makes you enabled to understand your people, your society, all the communities living in the country, so that when you become a civil servant, you exercise objectivity, impartiality and non-partisan behavior at all times. because that is the purpose. And through this, we would be serving the constitution and upholding the constitutional values. Okay, so GS paper 1, when I speak of it, not just European history, we can say history of all vulnerable sections, all vulnerable sections. Simultaneously, you will also be like briefly reflecting upon certain other topics, like the, we can say, post-independence phenomena, like let us say all the social movements that's there in the syllabus. Simultaneously, we'll be talking about, like let's say in GS paper 2, if I speak of it, you will be studying about pressure groups. So pressure groups is in governance, if you can remember that. So like let's say governance, I should write paper 2. Okay, so the component of governance, again, what kind of student should take sociology or will enjoy sociology? Rachit, the question would be unfolding bit by bit as we are discussing about it, right? So welcome, Besso. And what kind of acumen is required to deal with sociology? A scientific temperament, a curious mind, a person who wants to know about people, a person who wants to know what India is all about, what is Indian society per se, what is the global society, how is the world interacting and has been interacting so far, what has shaped the world as well as India, what are the interlinkages, how do we arrive at an opinion which is not biased or based on casual observations and generalizations. You know, I don't know how many of you are aware of this basic fact, but sociology is the latest discipline amongst all humanities disciplines, and that's why it is the most scientific discipline compared to all human sciences or social sciences. And probably that is the reason why it is very popular amongst students who pursue, like who have pursued medical sciences, like students who have completed MBBS, or students who have been BCom students, or students who have been associated with BTech. It becomes a very popular optional for the simple reason, unlike other optionals, this optional has research methods and techniques, and through the research and methods and techniques, how we conduct the research, how we arrive at an opinion, how we are able to, like let us say, create a thesis and a theory which is based on facts which are verifiable, facts which have been tested over the time period. So it's not like something that you are arriving at it because of popular generalized opinion. So it is not like a part of the post-truth world, and it is not a part of some popular narrative. Whenever you are making a statement, it has to be validated with certain specific background. And that is how I would say that it creates a lot of ease for students belonging to science backgrounds. And that's one of the reasons you will see that in a lot of batches, in fact, if I talk about my journey so far, like for more than a decade, I have seen students who have opted for sociology, like 80% of them having science background. And or you can in general also, if you inquire about your seniors, friends, etc., you will see it comes across as a very popular optional, because students have a sense of ease, because it's not something whereby you are just writing and you are blowing up the content. Whatever you are writing, it has a scientific precision to it. Answer writing program, when I'll be doing that, which I consciously do in the first month, every single week, 3 days I teach and 1 day I indulge in answer writing practice, so that a student starts learning how to prepare notes, how to get into answer writing, like week after week after week. So there's tremendous hand holding in the first month. Second month onwards, when we start taking tests, through the tests, the acumen that a child has gained gets put to application, and then time bound I would say reflection is also associated with it. Okay, so GS paper 2 I was sharing that the component of pressure groups related to governance, also you can connect it with social justice topics, social justice. Sometimes also some committees and commissions which are meant for women, children, like tribal committees or communities, or like let's say the schedule list, whether associated with scheduled caste or scheduled tribe, how it is getting formed, why is it getting formed. So certain concerns of polity which are there in GS also qualifies as a content for sociology. All right. So, and especially students who are attending this session online, this is to inform all of you that never ever feel this thing that, oh, just because it is an online session, how will we have a personal touch with our teacher? Just be rest assured about this fact. I am as much standing for my online student as much for my offline student. This is one thing which I always take care of, that if an online student is hustling with any kind of query, any kind of problem, there are two windows. First, in the common Telegram channel, which is for academic discussion, in that the student can post the query. If the child feels that this is not just my query, maybe other friends are also experiencing it, and if the child is like raising it, then there also we can talk about it. Second, what is it? So second thing which you will be experiencing, if there is some private query, then also a child has an opportunity to directly text me the concern. The moment I am free from my classes, because other than sociology there is GS session also, so after completing it, I definitely get back to my child. Okay, so there have been situations whereby students have suffered from some personal life issues, stress also, and it is over the board, surmounting the peace and patience of the child. So in those situations also, a child who is like experiencing some kind of pressing condition, the child has reached out to me, or batch after batch there have been different conditions whereby children have reached out to me if some counseling is needed. So it is not just academic support, it is a through and through support, because once you are a guardian, you have to take care of everything. So that's there. Again, you can see the component associated with Mukesh, I'll be taking up. No ma'am, class only English वालों के लिए ही है क्या? मुकेश, अगर आप English medium opt कर रहे हैं, तो आपको इंग्लिश में ही सारी बातें, सारे टेक्निकल टर्म्स, टेक्निकल एक्सप्लेनेशंस मिलेगा, है ना बेटा? अगर लैंग्वेज की समस्या है, एनी स्टूडेंट, दिस अप्लाइज टू ऑल ऑफ यू, एनी स्टूडेंट एक्सपीरियंसिंग एनी काइंड ऑफ चैलेंज like let's say related to language, if you are opting to write the sociology optional in English, please pay attention to this aspect, that if you're thinking in Hindi, half your energy will go in translating the content. Why should you struggle to translate the content in the exam? If you are really not comfortable in English, then go for Hindi medium. And is the batch in Hindi medium? No, not really. I can, if some student is getting stuck with some, we can say logical proposition or some explanation, I can explain that concept once in a while in Hindi if needed. But the student who is struggling with language needs to understand that there can be students from Tamil Nadu, there can be students from Northeast who will be struggling with the component of Hindi. They cannot interpret Hindi flawlessly. Though I am comfortable in both the languages, but that will again stretch up the session unnecessarily. So like majority of the times, 80% of the times, anything and everything will be explained in English. If there is a technical jargon and it's not landing well, so to create a sense of ease and to create some sense of freshness, because when you change the language, a child is like, huh, what happened? So like, you know, in those situations, I will be explaining it in the component in Hindi. बेटा अगर आप हिंदी मीडियम से हैं तो फिर ये हिंदी मीडियम के लिए सेशन नहीं है, क्योंकि सोशियोलॉजी में बहुत सारे टेक्निकल वर्ड्स आएंगे, जैसे मान लिया संस्कृताइजेशन, हिंदी में अगर इंग्लिश में हम बोल रहे हैं, ठीक है, तो इसका हिंदी आपको ट्रांसलेशन सोचना होगा, फिर थिंकर्स के कॉन्सेप्ट सोचने होंगे, तो टीडियस हो जाएगा। और ये बाइलिंगुअल बैच नहीं है, मैं पहले ही आपको सूचित कर दूं, ये बैच जो है ये पूरी तरह से इंग्लिश मीडियम का होगा। कोई शब्द नहीं समझ में आया, कोई बात नहीं समझ में आई, तो उसको हिंदी में समझा सकते हैं, लेकिन समूचा लेक्चर इंग्लिश में रहेगा। 80% इंग्लिश में रहेगा, 10-20% सपोज यू आर गेटिंग स्टक, एनी स्टूडेंट, एनी सेंटर, आई विल बी हेल्पिंग विद दैट। एज अ सोशियोलॉजी टीचर, personal experience and insights, how you prepare to that is something which is unnecessary, like my journey and this and that. It's like, do you understand, I'm double your age, so why do you want to know about old syllabus, old situations, old possibilities? Sociology has been a through and through win. I had two optionals. There was sociology and Hindi literature. In Hindi literature, paper 1, Bhasha Vigyan, was the, I would say, the blaster for me. I just could not bring justice to that paper. That was the reason. But sociology, a through and through win. Okay. Even paper 2, Hindi literature, very scoring. Okay. But that's my history, and that is not needed right now. What is needed is your future and your present tense, how it should be taken care of, isn't it? So I hope that's clear. Now, so more recent than public administration? Okay, Besu, when you're asking about more recent than public administration, yes, sociology also keeps getting updated continually, because if we are talking about research methods and techniques, the most latest methods and techniques are actually incorporated in sociology. Students who pursue MA in sociology, they have a wholesome segment dedicated for it. Okay, there are methods which are, we can say, associated with science, and there are methods which are associated with humanities. And in UPSC, there is a sub-component, a chapter dedicated for the same. I'll be showing it to you just in a short while. Okay, so I hope we can hold that patience and see the syllabus little later after the comparison with GS, right? Again, with respect to GS paper 3, if we are connecting it, the component of agriculture gets associated. Why? Because in sociology, paper 2, you have the segment of rural and agrarian social structure, rural and agrarian social transformation. So, rural and agrarian social structure and transformation directly gets connected to the, we can say, social context of GS paper 3. I mean, this is the relevance of it. Many people feel that, oh, it will be helpful for social issues and it can be helpful for essay. I think that's too much of a shortcut. If you really go through the subject, like, nah, there's something much more. Even in geography, human geography component of population, urbanization, that gets covered. I have not written it here in GS paper 1, but that's implicit as you open the subject and you get into the details of it. Again, when we are talking about this component related to GS paper 4, and when we are talking about inculcation of values, okay, inculcation of values by family, okay, educational institutions, and along with educational institutions, when we further reflect upon it, and there is this component of society. So all these three segments definitely gets associated with sociology. You will also find that sociology will help you bring in relevance related to empathy and compassion, the civil services values. It will also bring in objectivity, because it helps you to not arrive at opinions casually. There has to be a scientific precision, because the term itself is sociology. It's societas plus logos. Logos means scientific study or systematic study. So systematic study of the society. And what is the systematic and scientific study in the absence of research methods and techniques, right? Again, as we are further moving ahead with respect to this, hello Dua Club, so happy to see you over here. So, oh wow, I'm so glad that you're writing the mains and this is your first attempt, and but this is not the time to share this thing that your WhatsApp is not working. I was really wondering what is going on. So after the session, I'll respond to your message personally, okay, and or you can mail me, and we'll have a call, and over the call I'll explain you how to go about with this mains. All right, so good, you reached out in the live session, but probably bacha, I can't address the session, I mean this like concern related to mains in this orientation session. This is for the beginner students, right? So I'm really sorry, but I'll reach out to you for sure. Just mail me, and in this window also you will see that once the session is over, I'll just reach out to you. Fine. So Abhijit Patnaik, oh amazing the name, because another noted academician and think tank. So please explain how scientific approach is associated with sociology. Sure Abhijit, just give me a while, we'll be getting to the syllabus of sociology and I'll be discussing that. Again, with respect to essay, how many classes will be there? Vaibhav, sorry you joined the session little late, but with respect to the number of sessions, it will be 90 sessions. I generally say that it will be like 90 sessions. It can be 85 if the batch is smart and can catch up with a definite pace. 2.5 hour session and 90 sessions. Average you can consider. If the batch is fast, 85 sessions. If the batch is slow, 92, 93 sessions. If needed, even 95. So that's what. Okay. So I'm going to give my first attempt in 25. Will this course be helpful? Yes, it will be. Because UPSC, I mean, for that matter, Joditya, as you are asking about this, Joyditya, is it written? Yeah, Joditya only written. So, Joditya, as you are raising this question, it applies to sociology as well as GS. Your journey ought to start now onward, because 2 years of minimum current affairs is what is raised in the exam. I have shared this quite a number of times even to the students of GS, that like let's say National Child Policy was debated and discussed in 13, came in action in 14, and the question was raised associated with it in 2016. So imagine someone who started their journey of preparation in 14 was actually smart enough. Okay, so this is actually the right time to start with your preparation. Okay. Further, which source should you follow for sociology? Is IGNOU a good source? Perfect. Superpower India and Rohit, two students are raising a similar component. So I'm just sharing this insight to all of you, that IGNOU, and this applies to all the students who are really interested to know. I'll be sharing a detailed list soon. Right now in the live session, that for which topic which books can be helpful if you are doing some reference work beforehand. Okay, so when we are discussing with respect to IGNOU, this is one of the best sources. Like see, people say Nitin Sangwan. For shortcut it's fine. For a student who's a beginner and struggling with scratch, not able to understand technical terms and jargons, for that student Nitin Sangwan is actually the building bridge. But if you are really sincere about having some academic depth and precision, which is actually needed for writing good mains answers, for that IGNOU actually brings that, because IGNOU material, NCERT material is written by senior professors, but NCERT is written for school children. IGNOU is written for students who are pursuing graduation and post-graduation. This exam is for undergrads, right? But the syllabus is somewhere in between. It's half undergrad syllabus, half post-grad syllabus if you refer the IGNOU material. So if you're referring IGNOU, don't sleep over it. Be super smart, super speedy. Like just flip over it. See what are the dimensions, because in the end of the day, always remember, there are 13 questions that you have to write for 150 words. That's it. How much is 150 words? If you see, just 2 sides of a page. There are 6 questions of 300 words and 13 questions of 150 words. So know everything, but with precision. So in IGNOU, the material may be written for 2000 words. So you should be super speedy, understanding, processing and making a gist. I already do it for the class, for my students who undergo the lectures. So they don't need to bother about that specific dimension. But if someone is associated with self-study, IGNOU is fine. And I would say one of the most authentic sources. Bit detailed, but why not know the things in detail and then prepare a gist of it, right? So how much marks questions come from sociology in GS paper approx? So here it is 70 marks. I would, just a second, I think I should write it little neatly. So 70 marks. History, vulnerable section, social movement, comfortably 20 marks question can get covered. Okay, if I'm speaking of history. In geography, maybe if there's a question related to population and urbanization, then yes, a 10 marker question can get covered there also. In GS paper 2, social justice is 45 marks, governance question related to pressure groups or something associated with some commission or a committee. So that can also be for 10 marks. So on an average, let me not claim much, it will be 55 marks, little less, little more. It can be 45, it can be 60. Okay. Agriculture, GS paper 3, if I'm talking about it. So here also, like in GS paper 3, we can consider at least 20 marks to come from GS paper 3. It will support in 20 marks. In GS paper 4, I would not claim too much again, because GS paper 4 is more over a blending of public administration, history, philosophy and psychology. Attitude, aptitude, the component associated with emotional intelligence, 3 topics, psychology, probity, and when we are talking about accountability, transparency, international funding, etc., that is public administration. When we are talking about thinkers, moral thinkers, philosophers, administrators, history. And at the same time, when we are talking about the philosophers exclusively and topics like ethics, values, then that is associated with philosophy. So 4 subjects blended together. Sociology has a little glimpse, but with sociological understanding, you are able to connect with the vulnerable sections better. So it helps you to even prepare for like foundational values for civil services. So it's like more like an undercurrent present in various topics, in various examples, because in the end of the day, I mean, ethics is associated with the society. It is associated with the concerns of the society. It's associated with bringing the society together, isn't it? So I'm not going to claim much. 20 marks you can connect. All right. So this is paper 3. This is paper 2. This is again related to history. So paper 1, 90 marks I'm claiming. And here paper 2, I'm claiming 55 marks. 20 marks for paper 3, 20 marks for paper 4. Essay. Essay is associated with philosophical topics or quote-based topics, as popularly said. And can we not see this given possibility related to, we can consider the dimension related to all the topics having a larger interest about how society ought to be or what society is experiencing. If I generalize the approach of essay so far, that what is the trend of philosophical or quote-based topics in past 20 years, including last 2 years, which has been more exhaustive. All the 8 topics directly, indirectly associated with the component of philosophical concerns, ethical concerns. So you'll see there is the question related to terms like honesty, truth, wisdom. There will be a concern associated with what is ideal or good life, right? So ideal, good. There will be a concern related to real, objective. So what is real, reality? Okay, so that will be yet another concern. And there can be some larger than life concern related to the idea of excellence. So excellence, perfection, perfect, good. What is the idea? Utopian. Can we reach it? Is it achievable? So the prime 6 components of essay, you can actually address it more soundly when you are like I would say associated with the society at large. Because if you get, like, let's say if someone is claiming, quote unquote, I mean it, I mean, if someone claims that thinkers will be helpful for essay, no, not really. Whether it is a thinker coming from sociology or a thinker coming from political science or a thinker coming from philosophy, even if the quotation is given by that thinker, you cannot write more than a para. Essay has to be a 360-degree spin, a spherical expansion of the topic. So a wholesome insight related to the topic has to be given, not an exclusive insight. So suppose I'm teaching Marx, or before teaching Marx, giving an overview of Hegel, it does not mean that if you are able to identify the, oh, this is a quotation by Marx or by Hegel, and you start writing all about Hegel. No. The essay is not given for political science optional student or pub-ed student or sociology student only. It is a level playing field for all. So the examiner will never create a partisan approach or any kind of prejudiced possibility whereby one has like a better chance to play compared to the other. This kind of imbalanced approach is not created. Please be very clear about it. So even if the thinker is coming from my domain, I'll never encourage my student to write exclusively about that thinker in essay. It's not a sociology optional paper where expertise is needed. So no optional exclusively can nurture more than the others. This is what I'll say. More than the others for essay. For essay, what you really need is a wholesome, exhaustive understanding of GS paper 4. If any teacher can create that sense of understanding for paper 4, and your optional can nourish you to become a better human being who can process what's happening in the society and what is in the larger interest of the society, that student can perform very well in the component of essay, right? Because in the end of the day, for essay or interview, the purpose is to identify the best suited civil servant, because there is the space for subjectivity and identifying the pattern and the personality of an individual, right? Okay, if someone's preparing notes, like you will mention the reference material, my pedagogy, if you are talking about it, Sarvagya, or all those students who have been associated with this, Saptarshi, I'll be just taking your question in a little while. All those students who feel that your question has yet not been addressed, because like, you know, there are three dimensions I'm addressing. So there's one dimension over here, I'm looking at the questions here, then here, okay, and then it's like here. So what I would be requesting to all of you, if suppose I'm unable to notice your question, just repost it, okay, after 5 or 7 minutes, just repost it. So I'll get back to it, just in case I have missed it. And I apologize if I miss it, because there are a lot of things which needs to be handled parallelly. All right. How to remember sociology optional subject? उसके लिए अपन है, ठीक है, Rohit. So how to memorize the components related to sociology optional step by step, formally, theoretically, with current affairs, connecting it with the current relevance which is unfolding before all of us. That's my job. Updating the content, every 6 months I do update my content. Means a new batch does get updated content. I mean, definitely theory cannot be updated. Thinkers' perspectives cannot be updated because they spoke it, they have written it, they did their research, they got it published. Many of them are not even alive, right? So nothing can be updated there. But how their opinions are relevant today, there is the space and scope for me to create. Because UPSC does play once in a while with that possibility. UPSC had asked that how can you witness Merton's concept on a red light, on a, like whenever you are like moving in a traffic, how can you see Robert King Merton? So the application of the theory is asked once in a while. So there is the space to create from my side. So theoretical part will not be altered, but areas which needs to be updated or reflection is needed, that I'll be doing. I'll be supporting the students now because you people are pushing what is the pedagogy, so I'm just informing it prematurely. I was about to take it up few minutes later, but because all of you are curious, the method how I would be like helping all of you is, first I'll be in the session simplifying the concepts. Whatever I'll be simplifying, you will get a PDF of it. A PDF which is also called my handout notes. Means in general what teachers would be dictating, I save my time and the students' time from quote unquote dictation. With wholesome preparation and wholeheartedly, I just put myself in the process of supporting a child with explaining the concept and giving whatever has to be dictated in a soft copy. Simple. After that, once the child has read the soft copy, the child gets all the technical jargons, the critical explanations, and also how notes are prepared. The child just needs to prepare the gist of that notes, and I would say the skeletal framework of sociology is prepared. Now, other than that, I also provide booklets. Booklets are from various sources. Suppose I want a child that for chapter 1, a child should refer T.B. Baltimore along with IGNOU. Okay, so I'll pick paras from Baltimore and IGNOU and I will consolidate it together. And that is how the booklet is created. The booklet is not a book written by me, of course not. It is like a consolidation of various sources so that even if you don't have so many books, you don't need to purchase so many books. I mean, for that I am there, right? So the purpose of the booklet, if you will actually see, is to bring all the academic reference sources in one place so that you don't have to purchase those 50 odd books. The wisdom of different sources is consolidated together, typed together in those booklets. Okay, so you are getting explanation through the session. Other than the explanation, you are getting the handouts. Handouts are simplified notes. Then you are getting academic reference material, which is called booklet. Okay, so this is what would be created. Other than that, regular tests and answer writing would also be encouraged. Okay, so I hope now the pedagogy is little clear for all those who joined in between and were constantly curious that how we would go ahead with it. Okay. So after the relevance with respect to essay, interview, through and through. Majority of the times the examiner wants to see that you are a civil servant, okay? A person who's going to serve the larger society, stand for the people. So your concerns associated with your sense of empathy, connectivity with the larger concerns of the society, either what is simmering in the society in present, either that is asked in the interview or sometimes situation based questions are asked through which your sense of connectivity with the larger society, your sense of understanding what people are undergoing, that is put to test. All right. Do sociology in questioning pattern like CSAT change in response to current issues? Yes, once in a while, paper 2, you will realize that even paper 1 these days for past 2-3 years, it becomes quite dynamic. Like 4 to 5 questions in paper 1 and I would say 70% of the questions in paper 2 try to incorporate the contemporary developments along with the theoretical reflections and insights so that a wholesome understanding of what the society is experiencing and what is unfolding for the society is put to test for a child. right? Okay. So now with respect to this, as we further move ahead, these are some interesting and thought-provoking questions. I do not aspire to give you the answers right now, but I just want to show you, those who are curious, that whether sociology optional is interesting or not, they are best suited, they are fitted, they are connected or not. For those students, I have just created the, just segregated the question, not too many, just 5-6 questions, so that you see the question, you're like, it's doable. Yes, it is somewhere associated with GS, and yes, it is going to nurture our journey in the wholesome preparation, whether it is mains GS or interview. Okay, so one category of question which I found was theoretical. Second is evergreen reflective, means that could have been asked 4 years back also, today also, 4 years later also, it will be as relevant as it is. And then some current issue related question. Okay, so theoretical I have not consolidated here. Theoretical is like, suppose examiner asks that some question associated with historical materialism, the concept of historical materialism as shared by Karl Marx, or his concept of alienation. So just add theoretical, means the theory, the concept, if you are knowing it or not, the criticism of the theory, the relevance of the theory, okay, and the methodology used by the thinker to arrive at that conclusion, so that whatever the thinker is proposing is scientific. It is like validated. It is not just a proposed idea. Okay, so when we are talking about the theoretical segment, this you will find related to thinkers of paper 1 and paper 2, also sometimes ideologies and perspectives and theories related to, we can say, different chapters. Like, let's say there are different ways to study a specific issue, like religion. So there will be a Marxist approach to study religion. There will be a Weberian approach to study religion. There will be a, we can say, the Durkheimian approach to study religion. There will be like a functionalist approach to study religion. Okay, when I say functionalist, Durkheim also comes in between. We can say Parsonian opinion also coming into between, and there are Indian thinkers also who are functionalists. Their opinion also comes and gets incorporated. That will be theoretical question. Now, evergreen reflective. See this question. How do you understand the relationship between patriarchy and social development? Relationship between patriarchy and social development. I mean, could this question not be asked in 2011 and 2017 and 2030? This is evergreen reflective question. So, like questions which can actually qualify in various perspectives in your student essay, ethics and CSAT. Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. I hope to bring in the same, I would say, quality for sociology, Matilda. I won't disappoint you or any student. If you have experienced good quality content in essay or ethics or CSAT or any other subject, social issues or whatever, so you will experience the same when we will be discussing sociology as well. Okay, like I would see to it that it is like one-stop solution. And whensoever you are appearing for the exam, like you could see that one of the previous batch student, he suddenly connected, ma'am, I'm writing the mains this year, how to go about with it. So I had to like hold his horses, that thank you for coming in the live session, but not right now. Okay, I'll address after the class. So you can just sense it. There are students, you know, sometimes life is not so kind, and for some people it can be little rigorous. So there can be students, there are students who are from 2017 batch or 18 batch or 19 batch who are appearing for the mains exam, and I'll be as present for them as for a student from 21 or 22 batch. Because I understand that this journey can sometimes be little tedious, little rigorous for like few students. And that's perfectly fine. I mean, this is the uniqueness of this preparation, that your teacher and those students who are like your friends and they are really rigorous about their preparation, only these two people can understand what exactly you are undergoing, what you are going through in this journey. Beyond a point, you will see that sometimes the level of patience is lost with the larger society with which you are connected. They might not be able to understand why someone is preparing for 4 years. So that kind of insight and relevance needs to be built with all the students bit by bit, whereby whatever is needed in whichever year, that is something which would be created. Will you be bringing these courses again? Bringing these courses, presently I'll be bringing the sociology course, Matilda. All right. So now with respect to here, sorry, I'm so sorry. So with respect to here, the like content that we were discussing, it's given in the light of judicial intervention, live-in relationships, discuss the future of marriage and family in India. Now see this 2019 question, isn't it relevant even today? Evergreen, reflective, and it was also a current issue at that time, right? So judicial intervention. Now polity, in polity also this question could have been raised, and this is raised in sociology paper too. That's why I said that when you are reading sociology, your preparation for bits and pieces of polity, bits and pieces of governance, bits and pieces of social justice also gets prepared. That's why I had written, if you remember, 55 marks. 55 because social justice wholeheartedly, and portions of governance and polity also. Once in a while, one question. That's what. Again, you can see, explain democracy as an order of society. What are the factors preventing people's participation in politics? Right? So I hope I'm making myself relevant how sociology is nurturing your GS, not just social issues, not just GS paper 3 agriculture, not just ethics, even polity. Again, are traditional social institutions getting weakened as agents of social change? So traditional social institutions. Asked in sociology paper 2 2022. A similar question was asked in GS 1 also, when the question was raised associated with globalization. Okay, so customs and traditions pertaining to globalization. So that was a profound question, I would say. You can refer to the question paper, especially 2017, 18, you can just see that, right? 16 also, in fact. So this is what I would say. See this question again. How do you understand the minority question? Examine the violence and discrimination against the religious minorities in India, right? So the sense of understanding associated with, I would say, the conceptual clarity, the wholesome reflection of the content, and what kind of breakthroughs are needed by and by, right? So this marriage and question will have different approach of writing with respect to thinkers or casteism. Yes, Sarvagya. When we are taking up issues related to marriage, family, or live-in, or any traditional institution, the difference between GS answer and sociology answer is, in GS you will be just discussing causes, factors, efforts, suggestion. Here you do not write things just because you know. You will have to prove it on what basis you are claiming it to be correct. Because see, you are not a researcher. That means someone else has done a research. So either it should be a research body, it should be a think tank, it should be a thinker. And if not a thinker, then it should come from some study, like some body has done a study, okay, or it is published in a newspaper. So it is a proved, validated information. That's why it is proved. That's why it's published. So either of it makes your answer sociological. You don't write things just because you feel like. You are writing things because you can prove it. Okay, so I hope all of you are getting an idea related to how to make the answer little sociological, different from GS. So sociology will be more exhaustive, more in-depth. It will bring in a logical understanding to what we are like experiencing and why. Okay, so that's what. Will you be bringing these courses? Okay, this is done. I hope I'm not missing out on any query here. Okay, so where will I be taking the offline classes? It will be here at Karol Bagh. You can just contact the management and they shall be helping you out. Okay, the student who is asking about it. So you can just reach out to the management. You can find you can see the like online filling of the form. All the details will be shared. So just get into that. It will, the location at Karol Bagh, everything else. Question 4 would not be in the notes. Well. When we are talking about question 4, how do we understand the minority question? This is something which is associated with sociology. I mean, in GS, you know what happens. There is a limitation. There are like 10 sessions. There are 17 topics. You have to bring in the wisdom by and by and by. So in GS, sometimes there is a, like I would say, delimitation to the extent with which you can engage with a question. But when we are talking about the segment related to sociology optional, this is discussed and quite exhaustively. First and foremost, I discuss, like, if you remember, I just hinted about it, that how do you understand the minority question? So how do you understand the minority question? The moment it is asked, it is related to all types of minorities in India. Then examine, this is the second part of the question, examine the violence and discrimination against religious minorities in India. Now it's specific. It's not linguistic minorities. It is not, we can say, ethnic minorities. It is specific, religious minorities. And then when we are talking about religious minorities, violence and discrimination, then you will have to think about, in different regions, different types of violence that has like unfolded, like in Odisha, Kandhamal against the Christian minorities, against Sikhs in the, we can say, 84 riots, okay, against Muslims in the Godhra riots, against we can say the Hindu Kashmiri Pandits who are a minority in the Kashmir Valley. So when the exodus took place, so when we are talking about violence and discrimination. So when we are talking about the idea of minority also, okay, the idea of minority which gets debatable. So TMA Pi Foundation case which says that let's redefine the minority as per the region, not at pan-national level. How valid is that suggestion? So all that is discussed in the session. So right now we are not focusing on the content lecture. All right, here. So how does the new national education policy aim to eradicate disparities in the system of education in India? This was in news. Students who are asking, ma'am, current affairs, this is it. In 2020 August, this was brought. August 2020, new national education policy, it gets passed and the question gets asked. Simple. Okay. So current affairs also qualifies for sociology. Those students who are asking about it. So would not be the notes we read, I suppose. My question 4 it's not associated with paper 4, the minority question, Sarvagya. That's associated with paper 2. Okay, so it is associated with paper 2. Paper 2, social justice. So, and as far as I remember, Sarvagya, I had not taught you paper 2, right? Social justice नहीं करवाया था. और वैसे भी इसका in-depth exhaustive insight sociology optional में मिल जाता है. So don't worry. I mean, there are times like, when I teach the optional, I always tell the students that please use this topic also for your GS preparation. At that time, I keep hinting that this portion for sociology, this part of it also for GS. So that segregation also keeps happening. Now, let us move ahead further. So here, the syllabus, and as per the syllabus, you people were asking for the reference material, for which topic what to study, right? So let us reflect upon the same. So first one, modernity and social change in Europe and emergence of sociology, scope of the subject, comparison with other social sciences, and sociology and common sense, right? So sociology is not common sense. So how sociology is a science, okay, and how it is not common sense. So though it borrows its perspectives to do research also from common sense, but how it is different from common sense, the debate is there, a part of the syllabus itself. You can see that. So those students who are like, how is it scientific? I hope all of you can see this. So second part of the question was my main concern. Okay, all right. So now with respect to this, when we are talking about it for chapter 1, when we are discussing, so for chapter 1, I would be suggesting you can, those students who are preparing by self, you can refer to IGNOU, and you can also refer to TB Bottomore. Maybe you can find Bottomore online, soft copy, okay. So TB Bottomore, essay paper 4 will help a lot. I have already explained it. Rajat, did you miss the session, or did you just skip it a beat? I discussed that, how sociology is connected to essay. I've already explained. You can revisit the session again, because this will be available in recording. No worries. Again, so how much ideal time for sociology preparation? 5 months. 5 months. Starting from I would say July till December. And in terms of understanding the content, preparing notes, giving tests, and January, you can just do revisions, okay, at least 2 revision. If you are going slow, then stretch it to first 15th of Feb max, okay, 2 revisions before you start wholeheartedly for prelims. So till December, I'll finish the subject. So in July, we will take 3 sessions because there are few students who are appearing for their university exams. They requested that, ma'am, in July it will be tedious. It is a request from various centers, whether it is Bhopal or Indore or it is Kolkata or Bhubaneswar or whatever. So those students who are appearing for their exam, for their concern, in July we are keeping 3 sessions so that we start and we warm up bit by bit. Those students will also get, like not those students, everyone will get a recorded backup. Just in case you miss a session in any emergency condition, but it is advisable, please attend the session online. The kind of live, the kind of, I would say, vivacity and connect that is created in a live session cannot be experienced when it is a recorded session. In a live session, not only you can raise your doubt or concern, you can also engage more with the teacher. You can give examples, suggestions, and that keeps you alert. In online session, it will be just like recorded if you are just relying on online recorded until and unless you are a working professional and your timing is not matching. Until and unless this condition is there, it is requested, please attend the session live, because with your examples, with your analogies, with your suggestions, what really happens is a two-way connect is established. We are able to see that the child is attentively listening. There are some basic queries, okay, some interesting examples coming from the side of the students. So the lecture becomes quite interesting. It's like fun. But if the suggestion is not coming from your side, or your friends are giving and you are just listening to it online in a monotonous way, then the journey can be tedious. Because see, it's everything is in our hand, how we like pursue or carry forward every single aspect, right? So that's why I would be suggesting that. Short note is necessary for sociology optional. Ji, bilkul. If you really want to perform well and if you really want to play it fit, always prepare notes. Always, because you can memorize in any subject, whether sociology or GS, when you are writing keywords. You get familiar with the technical jargons of the discipline, you get familiar with the expressions, and your sense of fluidity and speed also increases. Mains is all about writing. I notice that students, they invest 99% of their time in reading, whereas getting qualified for the examination, you need reading plus writing. So just prepare notes. Initially, you will be taking too many words, or you will be cutting down a lot of important words also. So in the initial go, for the first month, notes making will not be the best thing that you will be performing. So that's why few selected candidates answer sheets where they have prepared notes. I'll be sharing just a glimpse of it, how they prepare notes, so that for the same topic that I have taught, explained, helped you to take out the material. Seeing the copy of the selected candidates, you get inspired how to prepare notes. Okay, so that hand holding will be done, so that every student learns how to prepare notes. This had in fact happened to two of my students. So there was this Gaurav Chauhan, he was a doctor, and his friend who was an engineer, Rachit. So both these boys, what happened in 17, I was teaching them, I mean they were a part of the entire batch, and I requested everyone to prepare notes. And offline, I also used to take a walk in the class, after the class, that just checking that who's preparing notes. In online, self-discipline will be something which will be needed. If you get stuck, you can always reach out, I'll be helping out. So what happened was I checked, and what happened, these boys, they prepared notes for the topics which I pushed them to. The topics in which I said that, oh, you should prepare notes, but I did not cross-check, these boys, they went lazy. Next year, they were writing mains, both of them. And they both reached out, ma'am, there's 2 months to go for my mains exam. I have not prepared the notes. I have not made the gist of it. Now it is so tough to revise. So it's like, who created the situation? Ma'am, we have created. Now how to, in this stipulated time, how can we manage our journey for this mains? So let you not experience the rigor through your mistakes. It's the smartest person is the one who learns from others' mistakes. Okay. So when I train you and teach you how to prepare notes, please do so. Fine. Okay. So sources for those who are doing self-study, yes, I'm just quoting that. Who is it? The name is Just Chillax. Wow. So Just Chillax, this is the source that I have started quoting. Just keep following, keep noting down. All right. So will help a lot. Rajat, it has been explained essay and paper 4 how it will help. So I've just substantiated that the undercurrent of paper 4 or of essay is human empathy and connect with the larger concerns of the society, all the sections of the society. And in essay, those students who have studied from me, they know that when I draw the brain mapping sheet, there is a wholesome segment dedicated to sections of society. And the entire segment of sections of society as well as levels of society, when you have to connect with a topic from individual level, familial level, societal level, okay, regional level, national level, there also sociology helps. Okay? So Rajat, I hope some in-depth clarity is created now. So with respect to this, when we are moving ahead, here you can see sociology as science when we are talking about it. So for this topic, sociology as science, again I will suggest you can rely on IGNOU. That's also good. Any person running for shortcut and getting associated with essential sociology, that is Nitin Sangwan, that's fine for a beginner. You will have to polish and update a bit, okay, and get greater clarity for your mains exam. So if you are a beginner and struggling and you are like, IGNOU is getting tedious, fine, you can rely on that. Okay. When we are talking about this positivism or non-positivism and other methodologies and perspectives, so sociological methodologies and perspectives, methodologies/perspectives. For this topic, bacha, you can refer to Harlumbus and Holborn. Harlumbus and Holborn. Remember, this is the author's name, Harlumbus and Holborn. Many people say that, ma'am, orange book or blue book. Okay. For those students who are confused about the so-called orange book and blue book, I will always suggest the blue book, blue, green, whatever you call it, the fat book. There is a reason why. The orange book is not updated. Harlumbus and Heald is not updated. Harlumbus and Heald is the book which has a few chapters which is not there in Harlumbus and Holborn, like Work and Economic Life. It is there in the old book, 1970s tak ka updated book. Harlumbus and Holborn is the updated one. I mean, case studies from 2010 have also been incorporated in Harlumbus and Holborn. But Harlumbus and Heald, majority of the case studies you will find 1960s, 1970s. So that's too old, right? That's why it is advisable Harlumbus and Holborn. This is what you need to buy. Harlumbus and Heald pertaining to Work and Economic Life. So even if you don't purchase the book, it's perfectly fine, because why to buy two Harlumbus for the same purpose? I have consolidated that in the booklet. Okay, so in the booklet, all the concerns are there related to Work and Economic Life, as well as in the handout, two sources. So handout after class, you will get it, booklet in the fat form. So it will be sufficient to help you and assist you in the journey. Okay, now with respect to this, when we are going ahead with this, how to go about with our weekly evaluation. Weekly evaluation will be done in this manner. Enroll the weekly evaluation for the batch students. Okay, it will be done in this manner, that those students who are a part of the batch, what I do for them is I give them the question, and the first 5 students, I evaluate their answer personally. If they are getting stuck with any specific question, the special assistance is also provided. And then monthly I also conduct tests. The tests, after getting evaluated, you also get the tentative model answer, that what kind of content could have qualified for the content. One more thing, in tests I don't ask only those questions which I have taught. I also ask some out-of-box questions which I have not taught in the class, so that through the model answer of the test, a student learns more about the topic. So that when the topic is being taught in the class, other than what is being taught, the handout, the booklet, the child is motivated to read the original books once in a while. Okay, so some quality addition is also done through tests. Tests are not merely testing how much has been taught. So it's not like an easy game. First 1-2 tests I keep it relatively easy, doable, but after that I keep increasing the pace. Out of, like, let's say if suppose I'm asking 10 questions, so I will keep 3 questions which are little tricky. The child knows half the answer, half the child doesn't know. and then the content gets updated through the like I would say the reference material. Now with respect to this, as we are moving ahead with the reference, so I would be also suggesting over here, so research methods and techniques, again you can find IGNOU material. MA material is too detailed, so just cut it down and just go ahead with it. Sociology thinkers, so Marx, Durkheim, Weber, these three, Ritzer. Okay, Talcott Parsons, I will suggest IGNOU, more detailed, amazing. Not in Ritzer. Ritzer doesn't cover Talcott Parsons. Merton, if you are consulting, so it's Abraham and Morgan. Abraham and Morgan. And those who are like listening to the session and like are aspiring to take admission, you don't need to purchase so much. Everything has been consolidated. You just need to rely on the material, because the material, the booklet will be from these sources. Handout will be simplified version of the theories which is discussed here. Here I can say my notes will be sufficient. Okay, Mead. It's a small topic, like you can just deal with that component in this manner. Again, when we are talking about it further, stratification and mobility, because it's paper 1, so Harlambus and Holborn. HNH I'm writing for Harlambus and Holborn. Alright, same is for work in economic life, Harlambus and Heald, the old Orange book. This is the only topic which is not there in Harlambus and Holborn. Again, politics and society, again Harlambus and Holborn. Along with that, if you are also connecting with IGNOU, yes, both can support and like substantiate the content. Same as with this one, religion and society, Harlambus and Holborn along with IGNOU. So it's not a very tedious preparation if you actually see. Harlambus and Holborn, this one, systems of kinship. Certain segments are also very well written in Madan and Majumdar, but paper 2 will be substantiating it more. Like for example, lineage and descent, given very well in Madan and Majumdar. Again, when we are talking about the segments associated with like social change, here I will suggest IGNOU. IGNOU is good for social change. Further, introducing Indian society, when we are talking about perspectives on the study of Indian society, so in this you can talk about David Mandelbaum. You can also connect with, there was this book edited by Subhash Mohapatra sir, which was Society in India. I found a list of, I would say, articles which were consolidated, which were originally written by none other than G.S. Ghurye himself or M.N. Srinivas himself or A.R. Desai himself. So, it's like their essays which you get to read, which is edited by this he has been the professor of Delhi University, Venkateshwara College. So, he had edited that book. So, you can connect with respect to the articles written by these thinkers. Again, other than that book, you can also connect with Robert Stern, Robert, R-O-B-E-R-T, S-T-E-R-N. Okay, you can also read Development and Participation by Amartya Sen and Jean Drèze. Okay, so Development and Participation. So this will be by Amartya Sen and Jean Drèze. So multiple topics associated with Indian society gets covered. Okay, when you are following these authors. Again, furthermore, if I am substantiating, so when we are talking about introducing Indian society, for this specific topic, when we are talking about perspectives on Indian society, B.K. Nangla's book, online you can find the soft copy. Okay, so B.K. Nangla, along with B.K. Nangla, for my students, you have to go through the notes. There is no shortcut. You will find that it's simplified version. Again, you can also say introducing this impact of colonial rule on Indian society. So here Bipin Chandra sir. So Bipin Chandra. Don't write Bipin, it's Bipin. So Bipin Chandra. Along with, I would say for this component, you can also refer Sumit Sarkar sir's book. Sumit Sarkar. Okay, again we can talk about, so other than society and culture, मैंने कहा था ना कि for this G.S. Ghurye and M.N. Srinivas and A.R. Desai, society and culture, that Mahapatra sir's edited book. It's not written by him, it's a consolidation of articles written by Ghurye sir, Srinivas sir, Desai sir. Okay, it's edited and compiled. Okay, again other than that we can also talk about, like let us say Introduction to Indian Society, B.K. Nangla, I've already shared. Again, with respect to this component here, social structure, all this will, again you will find David Mandelbaum and all these will be covering, caste system and all. So here I will constantly, like for caste system, I'll also suggest please do refer to IGNOU. IGNOU is good. Those students who are into self-preparation. Along with like the above mentioned books, also refer to IGNOU. Current affairs, like topics like untouchability and all, so this will be also getting associated with current affairs. After this, we can also reflect upon tribals. This Nadeem Hasnain sir's book, Nadeem Hasnain, and along with Nadeem Hasnain, you can also refer to, there is a handout, I had posted it in my Telegram channel. My Telegram channel, all those who are following it good, this is the channel. If there I have posted the notes for everyone, like for the larger audience, for open, like everyone can notice. So in the notes section you can find, okay. So so you can just, here you will find the notes related to tribal communities in India, given by Virginius Khaka. Virginius Khaka. Virginius Khaka sir, articles are also there in Jan 2014 Yojana. Right. Khaka sir has written brilliantly on tribals. Khaka committee was created in 2015. Again, with respect to this, probably I can also suggest, please watch Khaka sir's YouTube lecture. YouTube lecture of Virginius Khaka sir. He is a Tata Institute of Social Sciences professor. Earlier he was associated with Delhi University, later he got associated with TIS, Guwahati campus. Okay, so follow good quality senior academicians. You will see that while the lecture is going on, I keep posting lectures of senior professors of different universities, India and world, to simplify the concept. That other than what you are attending in the class on Saturday, Sunday, listen to professors. You are brushing, listen. You are eating food, listen to them. Okay, so other than what I am teaching, because you should also be nurtured by some senior professors, whether they are alive or not. They have added so much of wisdom to the world of academics, and why should you not get associated with them? I mean, in this era of technological breakthrough, it is so wonderful to be able to capture their insights on the given topic and listen to them, when the wisdom is pouring from the horse's mouth, isn't it? So I was just sharing it few days back with another group of students, that this topic of modernization of Indian tradition, which is there in UPSC syllabus, you can see it over here. Wait, I'll show you. Just few minutes back. This one, modernization of Indian tradition. This is given by Yogendra Singh sir. Okay, so Y Singh sir, actually his lecture on change, okay, change in India, that is available online. It was probably on MPTTL or it was on IGNOU, either of the websites. And few years back, when for the first time I saw it, it barely had 6,000 views. And all kinds of random Telegram channels or YouTube channels had 80,000 views, 90,000 views. I was like, oh God, why Singh sir's lecture? I mean, the man behind the concept, and his lecture has 8,000 views. Because definitely he's aging, he's old. He'll be speaking slowly, he'll be going gradually, no problem. You listen at 1.25x speed, right? But once in a while you should nurture yourself from these thinkers, because they won't be speaking in the contour of UPSC preparation. They will be talking about the larger context. When you develop the understanding about the larger context, the senior professor of any central university who's making your question paper for UPSC mains sociology optional, you are able to connect with the person. You're like, huh, exactly. This is what has to be prepared and this is how it needs to be prepared. Okay. So Interdisciplinary perspective, well, in this I can suggest that interdisciplinary perspective, you can see that whether it is polity or geography or economy or history, continuously you are seeing sociology optional content is getting associated with those GS areas. This fact itself proves that you need to have an interdisciplinary understanding, and that's something which you will see is also because of, like, the thinkers who have been associated with sociology. Many a time you will come across thinkers who are like not just sociologists, fewer mathematicians, fewer physicists, fewer associated with other disciplines like history or philosophy, and they have nurtured the insights for sociology. So interdisciplinary understanding is a must, especially for humanities subject, because it's not like chemistry. We are talking about society and people. So the overlapping lines will always be there, and that is how you develop the sense of understanding. So कुछ चैप्टर्स रोहित इग्नू के बीए में है और कुछ टॉपिक्स एमए में है, तो यूपीएससी का सिलेबस खोलिएगा और इग्नू का बीए का बुकलेट नंबर यू विल फाइंड इट ऑनलाइन, that which booklet has which chapter or which topic. You can segregate it first in a soft copy version, that this booklet is relevant, this is not. Okay, once the batch starts, I'll be posting it in the Telegram group of the batch also, that which booklets can be followed if any student wants to go the longer way. That is also done. Okay, now with respect to this, because right now it will be very tedious talking about all the entire bunch of IGNOU material. They are like fat bunches of thin booklets, so cannot be dealt right now. Again, with respect to this, again, as I was discussing about Virginia Khaka sir's lecture, social classes in India, here I'll be giving you a lot of material and insights. Please connect it also with current affairs. Current affairs. Okay. Notes plus current affairs. Systems of kinship in India, again, as I was discussing for this given segment, like society in India in general gets covered by the above mentioned books which I had stated, Robert Stern, and I was discussing not just Robert Stern, I was discussing about David Mandelbaum or Development and Participation of by Amartya Sen. This topic you will also find few segments given very well, which I have picked from like the components of Madan and Majumdar. Few subtopics also from Madan and Majumdar. Those who don't want to get into these details, refer IGNOU. One-stop solution. Again, religion and society, here also I'll suggest IGNOU plus my notes. Social change, from here starts a lot of intermixing along with thinkers. Okay, so here you will find a lot of current affairs plus the theory. Here also, like this third part, social changes in India. Okay, Mandelbaum, Stern, plus I will suggest notes which I'll be providing to all of you. Current affairs also, this area needs a lot of reflection from current affairs. So here I will be giving you some reflections from EPW plus few articles of Yojana magazine and The Hindu or Indian Express. Sometimes I also will be sharing some current material, current affairs material, which I keep updating for GS. It gets connected to sociology optional, so I'll be sharing it in the group as well. So The Hindu or Indian Express, we can associate our journey with respect to that. We have real challenge how to manage GS preparation with optional, doing justice to both. Rajat, I do share the timetable. Okay, timetable for preparation. So I'll be sharing that. Few students have who have attended some beginner batch. When I started the batch for them, they have also been associated with that. So that's there. So same applies to the other topics also, like notes. Along with the notes, go for current affairs. Politics and society, IGNOU is good. I have suggested that. So IGNOU. Social movements in India, Ghanshyam Shah plus current affairs. Okay, population dynamics, this one I said Amartya Sen for the theoretical understanding, plus you can follow this censusindia.gov.in, censusindia.gov.in. www.science.gov.in. All right. And what else? Challenges of social transformation. This is hardcore current affairs. So you will be connecting it with Dr. Sen's concept, Amartya Sen, development and participation along with genres, and also some current affairs. In current affairs, all kind of sources like people who have done research, people who have collected data, people who have come up with their own surveys. So all that will be a part of the current affairs. All right. So yeah, that's what. Again, so benefit of our online course, lucid and focused discussion. There's no, like I would say, dictation involved. Also, what happens is that when students are like in the online batch, you are just focused on delivering the core content. So in that situation, what happens is you cannot see a child nudging, okay, just dropping things, boom, blam, in the class, or a lot of things are like cut down. So because of which what happens, the distraction gets cut down. So it also increases our efficiency. So you will find this lucid and focused discussion continually happening. It saves us from dictation because of all the, we can say, handouts which I had suggested. So handouts and booklets save us from the dictation. So we have more time when there is like minimal dictation, more time for discussion of question and answers, brainstorming that what an answer can probably be. We will be providing you lecture backup. So if any student misses the session online live due to any problem, you will have a backup for that. There will be a time bound completion of the syllabus. So you can be rest assured about that. This has been catered or delivered year after year. So this year also it shall be taken care of. God save my health. That's the only thing. Other than that, and God save nature, may not any major Holocaust like situation come up. Till that time, the session in all normal situations shall be completed within the stipulated time, that is by 10th of December. You can be assured that it shall get over, because there will be November Diwali holidays like 2 days or something like that. There will be Dashera holiday 1 day, right? So something like that. So only once in a while some essential break, if it comes, I'll be giving you, or a national holiday if it comes in between, like 15th August. Other than that, full-fledged disciplined session. July it will be 3 sessions per week, and but that is live. 1 day answer writing for the group based discussion, okay, and August it will be like 5 sessions per week. That's what. You will have this Telegram channel. WhatsApp group, earlier I used to have, now I have discontinued because sometimes students' strength swells up and that becomes tedious to have a WhatsApp group. Reference materials, so regular handouts and supplementary booklets, as I said. Contemporary articles, how to pick material from EPW, Yojana or Kurukshetra and other leading news dailies is something which I'll be also assisting you with. Okay, so again, links of leading sociologists and thinkers, okay, which will assist your preparation by simplifying the concept along with answer writing practice during and after the class, because in the class also, as the chapter keeps unfolding itself, I keep taking up the insights associated with answer writing practice. Tests, yes. So tests also, I do take up the dimension of test every month. The moment you complete 2 chapters, test is there. On a high side, if chapters are small, then 3, otherwise mostly 2 chapters, test. Okay, so tests will be there, answer writing practice in the class, after the class. This is what. If there are any other specific questions, feel free to ask. I'm there to support your journey. What are the timings of the detail of your sociology course? I have already shared this. I again repeat myself. The timing of the class will be 1 to 3:30 p.m. It will be thrice in a week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday for July, and August onwards, Monday to Friday, 1 o'clock to 3:30. And the duration will be 90 sessions. It can be little less if the batch we see is receiving at a speedier rate and is able to perform well, 85. If the batch is little slow, 95. This is what I aspire for. All right. Any other questions, people? Could you elaborate on the enrollment process? Yeah, you can just reach out to the management. like I think the students who have come up with the query, they have come up through some or the other channel, right? So please reach out to the channel. You will find the contact number of the requisite people and the people who can help you with the admission process. Okay, I'm here to just talk about the content, not the management related queries. So please reach out to the management. They will definitely suggest you and assist you at every level possible. All right, any other questions which I can support all of you? Whose message was held for review? Who is this student? Satyam, what have you written? I can't see. Yes, rest of you, is everything good? Any other questions, any other queries? Please ask, I'm there to support you. 1 minute, yes ma'am, okay, bataiye, type, I'll be waiting. So, Ramanna, just a second, am I missing out? Acha, okay, no idea. Any other queries? 1 minute, yes ma'am, I have, thanks. And then I need to see the query also. So please type it. Well, no Sarvagya, at the moment we are not selling the notes or the material. We do not sell the notes or the material. It is a part and parcel of the course. If there are any other rigors, then you can always discuss your rigor with the management. But this is what. Okay, no worries, just chillax. It's perfectly fine. There are so many students who pursue the journey by themselves. So if you are experiencing some financial rigors or something like that, I perfectly understand your challenge. Okay, that's perfectly all right. Just study well, be meticulous, follow a timetable. Any person who is disciplined can play the game fair. Any person who is disciplined and understands that what to pick from where, like what kind of insights ought to be incorporated, how to make the answers relevant, you fight it fit. So best wishes for that. How to cover current affairs, what websites are. Current affairs will be substantiated topic after topic, Divya, because not every aspect of current affair is a part of sociology. So the components associated with social issues or political issues which are in news and associated with sociology, I will be pinpointing it continually. So you don't worry about that. As the sessions unfold, that acumen will be developed. And as you develop that acumen, once the batch is over, still I once in a while keep posting news. And in fact, your friends also will be posting material which is relevant to sociology preparation. This happens in all the previous batches also. The students who come across some relevant content, they keep posting it in the group. So they have that freedom. It's a two-way channel, two-way communication. So that is how the journey becomes nurturing and everyone nurtures the process. All right. So, no. It's a wholesome teamwork, invincible. All right. But I think we should stick to the core academic questions, isn't it? So, IGNOU material essential of sociology, Harlumbus will be sufficient to begin with? Yes. To begin with, yes. You also need to support it with some current affairs material. Just chillax. Okay. So, no. I'm not trying to hold back, Sarvagya. If there is any rigor associated with your preparation, please speak it out to the management. They shall always offer you some solution. Okay. So, how can we strike a balance between demonstrating a deep understanding of sociological theories and frameworks and provide practical, tangible solutions within the limited word count of the answer? That's quite an in-depth question, and I sense this that ephemeral Snow, you have been in the preparation for quite some time, because a beginner cannot ask such a wholesome, seasoned question. You need a level of preparation to raise such a question. So for that, what I can suggest is, start practicing the question, the previous year question. If you're already in the preparation, start practicing the previous year question and try to balance the theory, the theoretical question with the applied understanding and certain questions which the specification of the question which the examiner is raising. So there will be issues which are there in the news. For example, family, marriage, kinship, there will be thinkers talking about it. There will be perspectives of thinkers, and there will be some concern related to patterns of change which is happening in family and marriage. So you quote the thinkers, what they have said, and then there will be statements which will be substantiating what they have said in today's context, right? What is happening today. Suppose there are segments which thinkers have not thought of, but it is happening. So you validate your own perspective that though thinkers have said this, but the current developments can also be further added, which has happened like this and this. So that's how you balance the component of in-depth understanding, because the in-depth understanding is not coming out of vacuum. It comes from like borrowing the insights and perspectives of thinkers. Okay, so you bring in their perspectives, and along with that you blend whatever applied understanding is unfolding in the present times. That's how you go ahead with the segment. All right. So when is the course scheduled to begin? Well, the course would be first and foremost, we'll be taking one more workshop. It will be online plus offline students both. That will be 30th of June this month. On that day, I'll be taking hardcore question and answer session, and any segment which any one of you mails me that ma'am, this segment was not covered, would you like to help us with that segment? So on 30th June workshop, I can address that area. My mail ID is this. You can raise those questions, and I can just respond to those specific questions on 30th of June in the workshop, taking your name that this student had asked this is the answer to it. Okay, so because I am meant for you people only, to support you in your journey, so how about creating this? Okay, so you can just mail your queries, any academic query, no management query, please, with folded hands, because I do not take care of the management related issues. Please reach out to the management for the queries. Anything related to that. Everyone is very nice. Everyone will support you. Only topic related, content related questions, that how to go ahead with this topic, or how to prepare this, or how to go ahead with this segment, you can raise that. Okay. So on 30th June, I'll be taking a workshop once again, and 3rd July, we'll start with our game. So 3rd July, the batch starts. All right, which is best book for sociology? I have discussed Vaishali quite exhaustively, topic after topic. For which topic? Which is the book? There is no one-stop solution. If you think of essential sociology of Nitin Sangwan, well, it is, I would say, consolidation of material related to every topic and simplification for it. So for a beginner, it's fine as a consolidated book, but not to fight for mains. For mains, you need much more. Okay, so there is no one book. So that's there. And what else? So I hope every aspect has been covered duly. Now, ma'am, would you suggest to enroll in sociology graduation from IGNOU parallelly? Yes, you can do that. If you want some academic breakthroughs, that let me, rather than sitting idly, if this is my optional, how about while preparing for optional, get a degree also? You can do that. That will be definitely adding greater clarity, because you will be doing some tests also for them. You will be not only submitting tests, you will be writing the exam also. So you can get enrolled academically to the course as well. That also helps. Okay. What kind of student should take sociology and will enjoy sociology? Any student who wants to know about Indian society, people. Any person who's curious to understand why people are behaving in a specific way, what's happening to the society and what should happen. A person who's curious to understand the causes behind what's happening and probable solutions to what ought to happen, and add his or her own contribution to what ought to happen, is the student who will enjoy learning sociology, getting connected to the discipline, because the discipline is not mere theory. The discipline also nurtures you as a person. In the wholesome journey of this preparation, as the subject gets covered, as the the session gets concluded, you will be understanding that it has nurtured you also as a person. Okay. How about topper sociology notes? Topper sociology notes, not the entire notes, because you are supposed to learn from the notes first. Second, you will be given glimpses of notes, like how they prepare notes, because किसी उधार के माल से selection नहीं होता है. देने को तो आप ऑनलाइन ढूंढिए, टेलीग्राम में भरा पड़ा मिलेगा, लेकिन टॉपर के नोट से सिलेक्शन नहीं होगा. टॉपर हैज ऑलरेडी कंसल्टेड मल्टीपल सोर्सेज एंड देन प्रिपेयर्ड नोट्स. सो द पर्सन रिमेंबर्स द इलैबोरेशन. You cannot see someone else's gist and reproduce it without knowing the sources of elaboration. Okay, so अगर आप मतलब दूध का छाछ बनाएंगे तो मट्ठा ही बन जाएगा. ठीक है, प्रेपरेशन का. तो you should know that you should use the original source, that is the academic source. So how much to take from the academic sources, that is something which I will be providing, okay, in the journey. That, okay, read this much from this book, this much from this book, and that has been already done for majority of the topics, theoretical topics in the booklet, okay. Application area in handout also, in booklet also. I think I am now repeating myself. So can we just call off the session if it is done? So join accountability in that too. Any suggestion how to bring in, to have routine in optional? Oh yes, I will suggest about the timetable and the routine. Let the batch unfold and start, right? So there, because every batch, as the batch starts, I first and foremost share the timetable, that this is the tentative timetable that you need to follow as per the suitability of your GS batches or GS preparation. This is how time management ought to be done. So that's something, let us hold it for the future sessions, right? How to improve English for sociology. English needs to be improved for every single subject, right? Because English is just a tool for communication. Sociology is just one of the disciplines you will be studying. Yes, definitely with thinkers and perspectives, so that language will be built through the material, right? So I hope majority of the concerns have been taken in addressal. Please feel free to raise your academic questions and queries. I'll be again taking it up, okay, in the future segments. So that is on 30th of June. So if you get stuck up with any issue which you feel needs to be addressed and you are thinking of it later, please reach out. Thank you and God bless all of you. So take care, and that's it. Thanks. Okay, and thank you for being there for the session. I'll need the assistance of tech team. End